Welcome back, everybody, to the Cirque Show 24/7. This is season 3, episode 12 of the CW's Arrow, entitled Uprising. So let's get right into it. All right, guys. First of all, as you can tell, my co-host Claude is not here today. She sends her apologies to everyone, and she'll be back next week. But let's get right into it. Now, this episode is like the return of Oliver of the Green Arrow in Starling City. But there's kind of a backdrop to this episode, which is fine because the highlight for me in this episode was just getting the backstory and getting the history of Malcolm Merlin and what he's went through to be the man that he is today, and just like his little origins of like losing his wife, dealing with it, rejecting his son kind of, and trying to get his revenge and stuff, and finding his way into the League of Assassins, and how he kind of transpire into the man he is today was just really fascinating, and I really enjoyed that. It was fantastic acting. It was emotional. You felt it. It gave a better outlook on that character of Malcolm Merlin, and his motivations and why he does the things that he does now. So yeah, overall, I just thought, just for a character, because he's become one of my favorite characters. And it's weird because he was a great character in season 1, but I thought he was just one of those characters like, oh, he's just like the villain of season 1, and they're not going to do nothing with him after that, and they just built his character and to be something just so just entertaining and just it's mesmerizing. It's just weird to say, but it's just so entertaining just to watch him work and do what he does and figure out like what he's thinking and what's always like running through his mind. So I like that about this episode. And like I said, this episode really has to do with, basically, Brick. He's ready. It's kind of the last stand with Brick and his whole army and the whole like Arrow group, and just like their last stand. They need to take down Brick and his gang, and in the city, and before he takes over and destroys the Glades. And I like how you have to get all these characters that we met from past episodes together just to take this one guy down. And it was kind of like, and I've been seeing this a lot in like other people's reviews, and even when I watched it, before I even looked at other people's reviews, I kind of caught on to like the whole Dark Knight Rises type feel to it. And especially when you got Oliver, he got beat up, he was presumed dead, and he comes back, and it's just a whole lot of this like Dark Knight Rises stuff in this episode. And it's understandable because we're not going to get like a proper Batman on TV. We do have Gotham, but I guess Green Arrow is the closest that you're going to get to it, so it makes sense that they would take like certain elements of what you think Batman and what you kind of know with Batman and put it into Green Arrow. So it was cool with me. I didn't really have no problems, but I did recognize the similarities in like the Dark Knight Rises plot line and this Arrow plot line, but I liked it for TV budget and for how they shot it. Everything looked really cool. It was just certain moments that kind of irked me a little bit. Like I just want them to, and maybe it's just me overreacting, but I wanted it to be more of a, if, like I said before, if it was years past, I felt like it would have made Oliver's return a lot more memorable. I didn't really feel like it was that more. It was very memorable of him to just return. It didn't really stick to me like I wanted it to, because it was only a month, and all this crazy stuff has only happened in a month. But if Brick was there for like an entire year, like destroying the Glades and this, that, and the third, I think it would have been more impactful to get that return of Oliver. But that's just my opinion of like the whole year thing. And then and like I said last week, I really enjoyed the whole Black Canary stuff with Laurel and stuff like that. But I felt like that would have gave it more grounding if it was still a year. But I still liked Laurel in this episode. I liked Arsenal. I liked the way he stepped up and as a leader, and that was really good. But I don't like sometimes the way they kind of treat Diggle, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like Diggle, even if Oliver's gone, I don't think everything needs to go right to to Arsenal's everything needs to lay on Arsenal's shoulders as kind of a leader. I think it should go more to Diggle. And I felt like it was certain times in this episode where Diggle should have really used his authority over everyone else and said, no, we need to do this. But I felt like it was too much of a, we got to vote because we don't know who's the leader of this team without Oliver. So I felt like it was just too dependent on Oliver. But I want Diggle to step up a little bit because he is that character. And I just don't want them to overshadow Diggle because he doesn't wear a mask and he doesn't have a bow and arrow and stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. But overall, I still like the episode. The whole Felicity still like not bickering, but still contemplating and still hurting the fact that she lost Oliver, and people she cares about are doing like these, as she calls it, kind of reckless type things. They're not really thinking, especially when they have to kind of turn to Malcolm for help to defeat the bad guy. To defeat the bad guy Brick was very cool because you see that everybody's not on with this, but it's kind of a necessary thing because can't nobody really stop Brick. And you do find out that he was the one that actually killed Malcolm's wife, and that whole backstory. Malcolm thought he actually killed the killer of his wife, and he doesn't feel right inside because he didn't kill the right person. So his mission is not complete, and how it ties in with Thea and how he wants to do good by the people he loves. He just goes about it the wrong way. It was really, really heartbreaking, really just touching, and the way they explained it and stuff. And towards the end, once we get Oliver's return, and you get that moment where Malcolm could kill Brick, but he doesn't, and him and Oliver kind of form this friendship, or not a friendship, kind of a partnership. It was cool, and I really liked it because it comes to that point now where you got to kind of put your differences aside, and you got to know what's the greater good, and that's the well-being of Thea and taking care of Thea and this, that, and the third. And having that moment with Oliver and Felicity was a good moment too, because she doesn't really know what to think. She's kind of confused. She's conflicted in certain things. She's kind of angry with the whole Oliver going back, or Oliver kind of working with Malcolm, and how he kind of left her off with saying, I love you, and then leaving for a month. It was a lot going on in Felicity mind, and a lot of emotions going through it. So I want that to be explored a little bit more and see how that affects like the dynamic of the team, of the Arrow team. I do love that we got to see with Sid again. It was always great to see her. She's a cool character. I love the fact that she had the bat knocking people out. We got to see Wildcat again in the costume. That was a great moment. I wasn't expecting that. I really like that. And like I said, the whole fight scene was really good. It was a good choreography thing going on, so I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I still think it could have benefited a little bit more with just like a more of a time lapse or a time jump of just being a year to make Oliver's moment feel a little bit more special. But it was great to see Oliver back in his city, and see what he can do now that he's back, and how he picks himself back up from kind of falling, like literally falling and figuratively falling on his ass, and see how he gets back up on the horse, and see what he does now, and see how he prepares for Ra's al Ghul next time they have to battle. So overall, what you guys think about this episode? Guys, if you haven't seen any of my videos, I'm trying to get Stephen Amell to like message me. I just need him for 30 seconds. I need him to kind of say something for me for 30 seconds. It's not to promote my YouTube channel. It's not an interview of Stephen Amell. It's just something personal that I need from him. And I would really like if you guys kind of spread the word. I need it as soon as possible. So if you watch this video, just please, it'll be a video below, a little hashtag too. You send that out to him on his Facebook, his Twitter, the video and the link below, describing what I need from him, and that will really make my day. My day, guys. So please like this video, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought, and as always, this is a Search Show 24/7. I do need Stephen Amell's help. Be easy.